is now in session. I am Judge Shannon A. Holmes, and I am the presiding judge today over our specialty court docket. And so on this morning, we have our attorneys that are present with us. Some are already working in breakout rooms because we start at 8:30 a.m. with our staffing for this particular specialty court. I am starting off this morning with the matter of Antonia Smith. I have the following case number for Ms. Smith, Z80734141. Ms. Smith, please state your full name for the record.
Antonia Smith.
Good morning to you, Ms. Smith.
Good morning.
All right. Who's the case manager that's assigned to Ms. Smith?
That's me, Your Honor. Mr. Yancey.
Mr. Yancey, we had an opportunity to staff Ms. Smith's case on this morning, as well as there was some information provided to me before today's court date. And Ms. Smith, it's my understanding you're not doing anything the court needs you to do.
I forgot my phone number had changed, and they couldn't get in contact with me. And I got diagnosed with COVID, so I forgot a lot of things that I had to do because I'm in quarantine right now.
Ms. Smith, nobody knew that. Nobody knew anything about that. When you tell us that you're diagnosed with COVID, you have to provide us documentation of that.
I know.
Your Honor, if I may. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Ms. Smith, and if you knew that you were diagnosed with something or you could not make contact, or people could not contact you, why didn't you reach out to your case manager?
I didn't have a number.
All right, Ms. Smith, let me help you. And I'm going to let Mr. Barton speak. But, Ms. Smith, I don't use this in this program. I don't.
I understand.
Zero. Because I really believe that people take care of the things that are important to them. And the things that are not, they find reasons to not do them. That's not going to work for me. Now, you're here for me to help you. And I want to help you. But you're going to have to help yourself. And if you're not helping yourself, it's not going to end up well for you. It's just not. I'd rather help you.
Okay.
Mr. Barton, go ahead.
Your Honor, first I apologize for interrupting you. Actually, you just said what I was actually going to get into and what we spoke about in the breakout room and why we went ahead and concluded our communication in the back as such. Ms. Smith is aware that those are essentially excuses and we're not going to be able to deal with that in this court. However, what I want you to know, again, based on when our first, the intake that we had, I do believe Ms. Smith, again, has a good heart and she really has a good intention. I do believe in this case, she wasn't aware of her due diligence, what she needed to do, meaning when her phone number changes, I told her it's on her to notify the group when that occurs. Okay. Same thing with the COVID. I asked her if she has proof of this particular diagnosis or testing because the court may ask of that. So anytime we're dealing with the court, she's going to have to be transparent. So, Your Honor, we had this conversation in the back. Ms. Smith was aware of it. I don't want her response to you to seem as if she was callous or didn't care about it because she understood it. We had a very good conversation in the back. Again, I apologize for interrupting.
No problem. So, Mr. Barton, did she provide proof that she's been diagnosed with COVID? Without proof, we don't have a diagnosis.
Your Honor, and I made her aware that she would have to provide that proof. She said she did have that proof, and so she will get that to Mr. Yancey if required to do so. Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, absolutely. She's required to, and it must show her name, the date of her testing, and what the results are. So, Ms. Smith, you have that information?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Yancey, what I'd like to do, because Ms. Smith, let me tell you where you were today. Today, I was really entertaining having you picked up. And then that way, I could get you assessed and do all the things that we're supposed to do. All right. If you're saying to me that you have proof of a diagnosis of COVID, first of all, I'm glad that you appear to be doing well. I'm glad that you appear to be taking good care of yourself. I want to encourage you to do that, to continue to do that. But on this morning, Mr. Yancey, I'm going to have you all go into a breakout room. She's going to screenshot you. First, she's going to give you that new telephone number. Yes. Because at all times, Ms. Smith, your case manager needs to know how to get in touch with you, as well as the attorney, as well as Ms. Willis from Team Wellness, who is our provider. And if your number changes, it is your responsibility to make sure everybody knows that your number is changed, not theirs. So you need to write their numbers down or do whatever you need to do, because going forward, you're not going to be able to tell me anything about you changed your phone number or your number changed, because it's not going to fly with me at all. Okay? And so, Ms. Yancey, if we get that proof, get that date, and all of those good things, I'm going to put you in a breakout room to do that right now. And then you need to let me know if you got that proof, and then Ms. Smith can come back and I'll give her a return to court date. Okay?
Yes,
and I'll decide how I'm going from there. Yes, Mr. Barton.
I apologize for interrupting. One last thing. Ms. Smith, you are aware that at the conclusion of court today, you're to contact Ms. Willis, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I don't know if you would break from here after the breakout room. So I just want to make sure she's
So I'm
aware.
I'm gonna get a court date for her as long as she, and Ms. Yancey, you should be able to
Oh.
tell me within the next 5 minutes if she's able to provide proof of,
I got you.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, very good. So I'm gonna place you in a breakout room, Mr. Yancey.
Yes.
I'm assigning you all to breakout room number 3. And please come back with on short order. Thank you so much. All right, very good. Ms. Cooper joined us late this morning, so Mr. Morgan, you haven't had a chance to speak with Ms. Cooper?
I have not yet.
Okay, Ms. Cooper, the
Yes.
docket starts at 9:30. You need to be on at 9:30, not at 9:56, okay?
I had to look up the Zoom number because my phone isn't working correctly on Zoom. So I had to look up the number for my computer because it's not automatically in the computer.
All right.
But I apologize.
All right, how are you doing today, Ms. Cooper?
I'm doing. I mean, I'm anxious about this program. I'm anxious about all the things that I need to do, and it's just been difficult for me.
Okay. Well, I'm a little concerned about your anxiety, Ms. Cooper, because right now in the program, all you're doing is testing and going to see the counselor. That's what you're required to do: test and see your counselor. So there's no all that you're doing.
I mean, I'm at IOP. I'm working. I'm trying to, figure out how I'm gonna get to do these AA meetings
Well,
and community service.
Well, you're not even at the point of doing community service, so you can take that off your plate. No anxiety about community service. You're not at the point of where you need to do community service. That's in phase 2. Take that off your plate. With respect to the AA meetings, Mr. Morgan, let's take that off the plate too. But you are going to go and test, and you are going to do your intensive outpatient treatment. Because here's the thing, Ms. Cooper, if you're not in compliance and you end up at the Wayne County Jail, all your anxiety goes away because you won't have your job. You won't be doing intensive outpatient treatment. You won't have to do anything but just sit all day long. I'd rather help you. I'd rather you take that energy and let's get the help that you need. Okay?
Yes,
All right.
I appreciate that.
So 2 things you're going to do. You're going to do your intensive outpatient treatment because your sobriety and your mental health come before that job. You don't have your sobriety or your mental health, that job is going to go away anyway. It's going to go away. It's just a matter of time. It's going to go away. You won't have it. We've seen it over and over again in all of our other especially court dockets. That job will go away. You will not have it. So let's take care of your mental health. Let's get you on the right road for recovery. Okay?
Okay.
And your physical health, of course. I want you to stay healthy physically.
Yes.
And then that job is somewhere on the list below all of those things I just identified. So right now, you're going to see your therapist because you're going to do your intensive outpatient treatment. Okay? And you're going to let's start with those 2 baby steps.
Okay.
Everything
All right.
else, no anxiety because they don't even apply to you right now. How about
Okay. All right. Thank you.
that? Mr. Morgan, I'm going to have you go in a breakout room with Ms. Cooper and get her together with respect to her return to court date. And then we'll go from there, and then she can be excused, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I don't know if somebody needs to play phones in the lottery or you all. I am available by cell, by email, text, whatever you need to do to get a hold of me on today. And I will be in the building on Friday. That's my plan, to be there on Friday. And so because they're making the staff come back on the 24th, I don't want my team to do anything I'm not willing to do. And so y'all going to be stuck with me now.
Are they doing in person?
Yes.
Are they requiring in person on the 24th?
No, we're going to be virtual, but the staff is going to be back. Okay.
All right. Shout out to you guys.
Well, thank you, Mr. Barton. You let us.
No, I meant in a good way. I meant in like
Barton
I
said,
salute
no,
your
that
service.
ain't gonna be me.
Hey, as a former prosecutor, they were throwing us in the courtroom when COVID was happening. I had to go up to the
Miss
higher.
Rogers raising her hand like me. I'm right here.
Yeah, Miss Rogers knows. Yeah, I had to. Yeah, I'm gonna get on the record with it.
Look, that's this real thing, you all. I need you. If you have not gotten the vaccine, let's do it. If you're coming back, even if you have the vaccine, let's still be careful about our interactions outside of the courtroom. That we're still masking up, we're still washing our hands, we're still keeping our distance, because we're going to have to depend on each other to keep each other healthy. That's just the bottom line. If you out philandering and doing all kind of stuff, and then you come into the courtroom, and now you deal with me, who I'm shut down, locked down, like Fort Knox, that's fair to me, right? And I have the vaccine, okay? And so, so I want to make sure you all just keep that in mind, your activities outside of the courtroom that you're washing and doing. I went to Houston the other week. I told you I went home and I threw away a total of 3 outfits. 3 outfits threw away. Because when I get off that plane, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm changing clothes. I'm not going to tell you my other story about my outfit malfunction that I shared with Miss Wilson. But I threw away clothes because I didn't want to come back and contaminate other people, as I interacted. And I only interacted with people who had the vaccine. Because I care about y'all. I wasn't bringing nothing back into that office. And I did
can see you husband and little babies and stuff like.
They don't have a vaccine. I love y'all. But, we did the 2-finger kiss, and then I washed my hands just in case they didn't take COVID. And so, look, I didn't come back in. I told you all I took a COVID test a few days later, and my COVID test was negative. But it's because I care about you all. We have to all have that mindset that we care about we do care about each other, but that we're just cognizant of what we're doing, even outside of the courtroom, so we don't bring anything back into the courtroom, so we can get back to some normalcy. The work that we do, we need to be able to be face-to-face with people and to reach out and touch people and all of those things. And you all have done a fantastic job virtually, but look, that folks need us. They need us face-to-face. They need that interaction. So just keep that in the back of your mind while you're out and about to stay safe for us, because we're all coming back on the 24th. Okay? All right. With that said,
thank you so much.
I appreciate y'all. Great job today. I'll see y'all some of y'all on tomorrow. All right. The medical examiner who testified that this child had over 50 injuries and they were at various stages of healing. The medical examiner also testified that it is highly unlikely that this child could have inflicted these wounds upon herself, even if she was clumsy. He indicated that this child had several impacts all over her head. In fact, there was hemorrhaging between the scalp and the bones of this child. I want to paint the picture of the nightmare that this child lived while she was in the care of these two defendants. The medical examiner testified that the injury to the child's pancreas occurred approximately 7 days prior to her death. He indicated that the injuries that this child had sustained, she would have been in a lot of pain, and that her health and her ability to move around would have deteriorated greatly prior to her death. The medical examiner went on to testify that any parent or guardian, and I am going to add a sidebar, in their right mind, would have known that this child was sick and needed medical attention. I also had the opportunity to review the very, very long DVDs that the prosecutor provided to me, and I almost thought I watched a lot of ID stations, and I got confused because I thought I was watching the ID station. Mr. Thomas, you're a wonderful actor, because you wanted this court to believe that a child was in your care who had suffered over 50 injuries to her body, that somehow you noticed that she was not breathing in the back seat of a car. You were driving 75 miles per hour, talking on the phone, and reaching back to the back seat to administer what you call CPR to this child. However, you loved her so much, you didn't take her to the hospital when you saw that she was not breathing in this car. Instead, you stopped by a job of the mother to pick her up so that she could take this child to the hospital. Unbelievable, but you are an incredible actor, and for that, you should get a standing ovation. Oh, but Miss Gordon, you're an even better actor, because on your interview, you pretended like you did not know that your child was being abused, either by you or the man that sat at home all day with your child while you worked and he did not. Isn't that unfortunate? You are responsible for your child. What was even more incredible is during your interview, you indicated that you were aware that your child sustained a head injury. However, you did not take her to the hospital because you had had some Moscato and some marijuana on you. Unbelievable. And so you took your child back home and waited another day. You are wholly responsible for what happened to your child. Therefore, I'm binding both of you over to the Wayne County 3rd Circuit Court. Your arraignment on the information will be February the 11th, 2015. Don't ask me anything about bond. I'm not entertaining it, and I wish you all the very best.